You check your earnings after a 12-hour day. 16 deliveries, $300 in your account. Then you fill up the tank, $40. Then you calculate what you actually made, $260. Then you subtract the maintenance coming, the oil change, the tires wearing faster because you're driving more to earn the same. And suddenly the math feels wrong. You did more work, you spent more time, you said yes to every order, and somehow you have less than you did last month. This looks like bad math, but it's actually something else. It's what happens when the price of fuel rewrites the rules of your work and your brain tries to protect you from seeing the full picture. Let me just say this clearly. You are not bad with money. You are not failing. What you are experiencing makes complete sense. Your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do. It is trying to protect your income. It is trying to protect your ability to survive. And it is trying to protect you from the distress of watching your margins disappear in real time. Before we go anywhere else, know that this behavior is not a flaw. It is a response, and it is a deeply human one. Here is the first reason this happens. When fuel prices rise, your cost per delivery changes invisibly. You do not feel the loss as a single event. You feel it as exhaustion, as the need to take one more order, as the sense that you just need to push a little longer. The behavioral concept here is loss aversion. Humans feel losses about twice as intensely as equivalent gains. When your fuel cost eats into your earnings, your brain does not calmly recalculate. It panics quietly. It tells you to work more to undo the loss, to cancel it out, to erase it by adding more deliveries. Think about a night where you were already tired. You've made $200, but you know fuel cost you $50. So your brain says you have not really made $200, you've made $150. So you need another $50 to feel like you actually succeeded. You take 3 more orders, you drive another 2 hours, you make the $50. But now fuel has cost you another $15. So the real gain shrinks again. This is the trap. Your brain keeps chasing the original number while the costs keep moving. And here's the reframe. This behavior once helped you survive. In an older economy, working more to overcome a temporary cost increase kept food on the table. It was rational when costs were stable and predictable. The problem is not your instinct to work harder. The problem is that fuel prices no longer move predictably, but your brain is still using an old map. Here's the second reason. You start accepting orders you would have rejected before. Longer distances, lower tips, worse neighborhoods, routes that leave you far from the next pickup. You tell yourself something is better than nothing, but the financial reality is different. The concept here is marginal decision-making. It happens when you stop looking at the whole day and start looking at the next single choice in isolation. Should I take this $7 order for 8 miles? If you look only at the $7, yes, but if you look at the fuel cost for 8 miles, the time, the chance that the next order will be bad, the math flips. A real-life example. You were sitting in a parking lot. The app sends you an order, $3 for 4 miles. Last month, you ignored it. This month, you take it because you've already said no to 3 others, and you need to feel movement. You complete the order. It takes 20 minutes. You made $3. Fuel cost you $150. Time cost you 20 minutes. You earned effectively $4.50 an hour. But you do not calculate that in the moment. You only feel relief that you are working, that you are not idle. The reframe is important here. Your brain is trying to protect you from the anxiety of downtime. Idle time feels dangerous when costs are high. Doing something, even unprofitable something, feels safer than doing nothing. That instinct kept you moving in slower markets. It kept you earning when others gave up. It is not stupid. It is just no longer aligned with the new math. But here's the part most people miss. The real shift is not in fuel prices. The real shift is in how you perceive your own time. And this is where money becomes emotional. The third reason you keep driving when it stops making sense is the sunk cost fallacy. You have already invested in the day. You woke up early. You filled the tank. You drove to the busy zone. You spent 4 hours already. To stop now feels like wasting all of that. You continue, even when each new order loses money, even when you're tired, even when the math says go home. Think about a Tuesday afternoon. You've made very little. Fuel is almost gone. You should stop. But you think about the $30 you spent on gas in the morning. If you go home now, that $30 is gone with nothing to show for it. So you buy more fuel. You keep going. You tell yourself the evening rush will save the day. The brain does something unexpected here. It treats the morning fuel cost as an investment that must be paid back, but that money is already gone. It should not influence your next decision, but it does, every time. The reframe is that your brain hates waste more than it loves efficiency. Walking away from a bad day feels like admitting failure. Continuing feels like hope, and hope is not a bad instinct. It has carried you through slow weeks and bad months. The problem is that hope without math becomes a trap. Here's the fourth reason. You start comparing yourself to other drivers, and that comparison changes your behavior. The concept is social proof in high-stress environments. When you see other drivers accepting orders, staying out late, switching to e-bikes, your brain assumes they know something you don't, so you follow. A real-life example. You are sitting in a restaurant. 3 other drivers are also waiting. They all take orders you would never accept. You start to doubt your own standards. Maybe the math has changed. Maybe they know a bonus is coming. Maybe fuel prices don't hurt them as much. So you lower your bar. You accept worse orders. You stay out later. The reframe is powerful here. Your brain is trying to protect you from being left behind. In evolutionary terms, staying with the group meant survival. Leaving the group meant risk. That instinct is not wrong. It kept you employed when platforms changed rules without warning. It kept you informed about new zones and better hours. The problem is that the group can also be wrong. Everyone can be losing money together, and your brain will still tell you to stay with them. As you earn more, as you get older, as your responsibilities shift, this same behavior changes meaning. When you first started delivering, working through high fuel prices felt like a rite of passage. You were proving you could survive. Now, with rent due and a family to think about, the same behavior feels different. It feels desperate. But the behavior has not changed. The context has. This is important to understand. You are not becoming worse with money. Your life is asking different questions, and your old answers no longer fit. A younger version of you could afford to work 12 hours for diminishing returns because time was abundant. An older version of you cannot, but the instinct to keep moving, to keep earning, to not waste the fuel you already bought, that instinct is the same. It's just heavier now. Here's what is actually happening beneath all of this. This behavior reduces your stress in the very short term. Taking another order creates immediate relief. It silences the voice that says you're failing. It replaces uncertainty with action. Action feels like control, and control reduces anxiety. The metaphor here is a treadmill that shows you a moving landscape. As long as you keep running, you feel like you're going somewhere. The moment you stop, you see you have not moved at all. That's terrifying. You keep running. Your brain is not trying to lose you money. Your brain is trying to protect you from the terror of seeing that the ground is shifted beneath you. That's all. It's a shield. An imperfect one, but a shield nonetheless. Here's the truth you deserve to hear. You have been trying to protect yourself. Every extra order, every longer shift, every acceptance of a bad delivery, that was not stupidity. That was survival. That was your brain doing exactly what brains do when the rules change without warning. You are not broken. You are not bad with money. You are a person who has been trying to hold on in a system that doesn't stop moving, and that deserves understanding. Not a fix, not a solution, just understanding. So rest here for a moment. You do not need to change anything tonight. You just need to know that the way you have been behaving makes sense, and you are not alone in it.